Hi everyone, this is Nightfighter22 here. I hope you guys are all well. And in today's video we're going to be looking at a very old chess trap which comes out of from the Queen's Gambit Accepted opening. So this is the Queen's Gambit Accepted, d4 and then d5 is the second most common move. So then you'll go ahead and offer up the Gambit with your pawn. And basically if your opponent goes ahead and takes the pawn, then you can set them up for a trap by playing the move pawn to e3. And what you might see here is a lot of players, they would just play standard sort of knight f6, and after bishop takes c4, you can have a very comfortable game. But on the other hand, if your opponent tries to manically hold on to this pawn, they often do this at very intermediate levels, sort of, players from 1000 to 1500. They will often try and hold on to this pawn, especially in a blitz game, because, they're one pawn up in material. They want to try and keep that advantage and then maybe trade queens, have a nice endgame. So they might go for the move b5. And this is still considered very, it's quite a common move that you'll see. But after the move a4, basically you'll win the pawn back. And there's two things they can do to try and hold on. Obviously the threat is a takes b5, removing the defender, and then afterwards taking with the bishop. And black will have a very sort of damaged queenside pawn structure. So what they might do is they can't actually play a6 to hold on to the pawn. If they play a6, something like this happens. So a6, and then takes here, takes back, but there's a pin on the pawn because the rook is lost like this. So they're not going to take back with the a pawn. So what they're probably going to do is they're probably going to play c6 instead. But this actually sets up a really nice trap. So for example, takes here, removing the defender of this pawn, and if they recapture, you can then play the very strong move queen to f3. And what queen to f3 is doing is it's controlling this diagonal against the rook. And if you look at it, it's going to be very hard for black to go ahead and defend the rook. Obviously you can't play bishop d7, bishop will be lost, queen would be undefended if it went to d5. What he can do though is he can play knight c6. This is probably what you'll see, but then the queen can go ahead and take on c6. The bishop's got to go to d7, blocking the check. And after something like queen back to f3, then white is up a piece and will have a very comfortable game. Okay, so that is a trap for you. I hope you found it very useful. You can apply this to all your own games in the Queen's Gambit. Thanks very much for watching the video, everybody. I've been Nightfighter22. I wish you good luck playing chess, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.